Welcome back to Point of View. I am Crystal Halliday.
I'm Shariah. I'm Sage.
She was a DEI hire.
Apparently, they feel, or a lot of Democrats feel, they have to stick with her because of her ethnic background.
I think she was a DEI hire, and I think that that's what we're seeing.
To call the Vice President of the United States a DEI hire is really just to cover up a very racist reaction, because the inference is that she was not qualified. Here's a woman that was the district attorney in San Francisco, attorney general of California, senator from California to the United States Senate, and then vice president of the United States, all voted on by people, millions of people of all races. So what makes her a DEI hire? Are you saying the millions that voted for her were doing a token vote? Or were you saying they see that qualifications have nothing to do with gender and race? It's despicable, and it shows that they're trying to bring us back to the days of Jim Crow.
So the whole DEI discourse is just another dog whistle. There's been plenty of dog whistles throughout history to call black people the N-word. DEI is just another way to call somebody the N-word and say that they're not qualified to do something, or discredit whatever they've done. We know that Kamala Harris has a lot of accolades behind her and that she earned her position, but they don't want to see a black woman doing anything great, or a woman in general. So they are calling her a DEI, saying she didn't earn her spot, as well as saying that she slept her way to the top as well. That's another thing, just woman specific, putting semen on her mouth and things of that nature. That's the type of imagery that they're putting out, saying that she gave blowjobs and all of that. Again, just very misogynistic and misogynoir, really.
I mean, even the president calling her a bum. Yeah. A bum yesterday.
And we can't forget the fact that years before, we had a president calling black women welfare queens. Well, we do know that white people benefit largely from welfare, but they want to paint us as not being worthy, as using the government and everything like that. So this rhetoric is tired and old. They've been saying that we're lazy and don't deserve our spot in professional settings.
Here, I just think this is like a part of his plan to get everything lined up in the way he feels like it needs to be lined up in order for him to win. He can't pass everything in the bill, like.
The outline includes detailed plans to expand presidential powers even more, including restructuring the Department of Justice, purging federal government employees and replacing them with tens of thousands of Trump loyalists, dismantling the Department of Education, and banning abortion medication.
President Trump is going to make decisions about policy in his administration if he wins. Project 2025 is something that's going to transcend the next 4 years, the next 10 years. We're going to fire someone, and the number needs to be more than 50,000. Abortion is not health care. We need to have the biggest mass deportation system ever in the history of America.
I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I said I want to be a dictator for one day. We will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country. Lock up the Bidens.
As a parent, you should have more power. You should have more of an ability to speak your voice in our democratic republic than people who don't have kids. Let's face the consequences and the reality.
A family is defined in a very specific way, where only white Christian men have power, and they get to exercise it over how their wives and children and the rest of us exist in the world. The society is to, of course, have babies, even if it kills them. Abortion is mentioned 199 times in the Project 2025 manifesto. As part of the project's wish list, Republicans are calling to regulate pregnancy and abortion by misinterpreting a 19th century law known as the Comstock Act to ban the mailing of drugs used in medication abortions. It doesn't stop there. Project 2025 also calls for gutting protections for the LGBTQ community by stripping away federal non-discrimination protections and eliminating all transgender health care under Medicare and Medicaid. How small is this group of people that would be exercising power over the rest of us?
Well, the good news for our democracy is that 2/3 of the country rejects this vision.
Yeah.
It's about 3 in 10 Americans who can be identified as Christian nationalists, either adherents or sympathizers to this worldview that you've described fairly well. But 2/3 of the country does not. But it's also 2/3 of white evangelicals that do embrace this. Right. It's a majority of Republicans who do embrace this. So it's wildly out of step with mainstream America, but it is at the heart of the MAGA movement that's fueled by white evangelical Protestants, and that you see, like, all the way into this document.
When you hear Donald Trump say, "Don't worry, Christians, just vote this one time, you'll never have to vote again," what did you hear?
We are getting in real time a telegraphed statement about what they intend to do, and it's an authoritarian white Christian nationalist vision, where, as you said, it's white Christian men who are at the top of the power pyramid. The word order appears over and over. An ordered society, a well-ordered society, ordered liberty. All that is code for hierarchy. Right? It's this old 19th century vision that has this ancient, and it's not all Christians, to be sure, but this older vision of a white Christian America really baked into the center of it.
What do you find the most alarming and the most frightening, the thing that you want people to know about top of mind?
You know, how they are using the federal government to institutionalize bigotry structurally, right? The idea that he would come into office and fire nearly 1 million federal workers, career workers, right? That's scary. And then input foot soldiers that would just carry out his will. The idea that they want to turn the Health and Human Services Agency into the Department of Life and charge it with promoting heterosexuality as the quote-unquote ideal family unit, and then attach federal benefits to those criteria. That's scary. And I think ultimately here, we're not just talking about policies that are impacting specific communities, though that's laid out quite clearly in Project 2025. But what we're talking about is the undermining of democracy. He's even saying out loud, if you vote in this election for him, for Donald Trump, that could be the last election you have to vote for. As Dr. Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them.
The first time. People always leave out the first time.
Yes.
What alarms you the most?
There's actually 2 sentences out of all this 900 pages that I think were the most chilling to me to read. I'm just going to read them here.
Yes, please.
They said, an individual must be free to live as his creator ordained in order to flourish. Our Constitution grants each of us the liberty to do not what we want, but what we ought. Now, who gets to define that ought? The very next sentence gives us a clue. The pursuit of the good life is found primarily in family, marriage, children, Thanksgiving dinners, and the like. So that other 900 pages, that's in the foreword of this document. What the other 900 pages really are about that 1950s Norman Rockwell vision of a white Christian America, you know, with white Christian men and their heterosexual marriages kind of reigning up here and everybody else knowing their place.
And I mean, this is going to fundamentally reshape American life for women in this country. I mean, you can see all of that laid out in Project 2025. But I do have to say this. It clearly calls for a national ban on abortion. They intend to make that the reality. Also, I mean, the ways that they're defining heterosexuality and the ideal family unit, they are actually trying to put provisions into place to control us in our decisions. I mean, this trad wife, kind of housewife trend that they're trying to promote, that's actually a system of power and control over women's lives. So let's be clear. Everything that we enjoy today is our normal way of being, right? From being able to go to work, to raise your kids in the way that you choose, to have a partner that you decide and pick, all of that they're saying they want the government to control it. So let's be clear. This is a dangerous, dangerous document that's laying out exactly what they plan to do.
Yeah, Robert P. Jones, Kelly Robinson, thank you both very much.
Y'all, thank you for tuning in. I am Crystal Halliday. This is Point of View. Y'all, we got a long road ahead. Yep. And we gonna make it. Be blessed.